Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Customer Support Mastery with Speak and Span. My name is Anne. I'm the Customer Support Manager at Speak and Span Home and Office Cleaning, and today we're talking about something that every customer experiences, but very few people talk about. Every email, live chat is much more than just a question and an answer. It's an opportunity to build trust, solve problems, and sometimes completely change the way that a company makes the customer feel. Our guest today has spent more than 30 years of studying customer conversations across many industries. I am really looking forward to today's conversation. Tom, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here.
Thanks so much, Anna. Again, I am very honored to be here and glad to be on the podcast. Look forward to the conversation.
Tom, could you let us know a little about yourself, your background, and what led you to spend your career listening and analyzing customer conversations?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And I tell in my book, This Call May Be Monitored, What Eavesdropping on Corporate America Taught Me About Business and Life. I talk a little bit about my story, and I certainly did not, this was not the career I was expecting. And I was hired by the company that I now own back in 1994 by the founder of the company. And the whole idea of call monitoring was very, very new. In fact, when I started in 94, my first client, the technology was so archaic, we literally would plug an analog phone jack in a phone cord into a phone jack in a wall, and then we had a cassette recorder, and we would wait for the customer service representative to answer the phone, and we'd manually hit the record button, and that's where it started. I've been doing this for a long time, and it was brand new, and it wasn't something that I had ever thought about. And over 30 years, 100,000 phone calls, what I discovered is that I love my job. Not necessarily, the call analysis is the grunt work, right? It's the stuff you got to do. The really exciting part is helping our clients, whether it's that frontline agent that I get to coach and help become a better customer support person, or it's the executive who I get to help make some positive changes to policies and procedures and systems that are going to be a win-win both for their team members as well as the customer ultimately.
When you first started, did you ever imagine that these conversations would eventually become a book?
Oh, no, not at all. It happened really about it was just over a decade ago, about 10 years. And I'm a journaler. In my daily life, I like to journal a lot. So I was actually sitting at a pub here in Pella, in my hometown, and enjoying a pint, just journaling. And one of the things that I was journaling about was, what are some of the life lessons, not just business lessons, but like life lessons that I've learned from analyzing phone calls and helping companies improve their customer support, and I started just writing, and I came up with like a list of over 30 of them. And I'm like going, oh my gosh, I think this is a book. And it took 10 years for it all to come together and for all the pieces to fall into place, but that's kind of where it came from, because it's kind of a unique experience, right? We all hear this call may be monitored for quality and training purposes, but everyone wonders, well, does anybody actually listen to that? And how does that exactly work? So I thought it might be a book that people would be interested in.
Amazing. And one thing that you often say is that customers remember how you made them feel more than what you actually said. Why do you think that emotions have such a lasting impact on customer experience?
Yeah, so our company, Intelligentics, there's really three pieces to what we do, and it starts with customer research. We actually will do surveys of our clients' customers to find out, all right, what is it that really drives their expectations? And over the years, you find that every customer base, every industry, every company there are specific things that are kind of nuances, specific nuances, but there are also, I learned some universals, and in my book I call it the holy trinity of customer satisfaction. And they are, and in order, these are the three things that every customer wants when they pick up that phone. Number one is resolve my issue. And if you've been in you're in the customer support world, you know one contact resolution is always kind of the thing that everybody shoots for, because it is always number one. If I'm calling customer support, I want my issue resolved. I want my question taken care of. But number two is I want to feel like you care. I want to feel like I'm important as a person, that you care about the fact that I've been inconvenienced and had to call. I want to feel like you're treating me as a human being with courtesy and friendliness and empathy. And then the third thing is don't waste my time. And, you know, hopefully I can get that resolution as quickly as possible. And in the research world, and we talk about the difference between what we call reward variables and penalty variables. A penalty variable is something that, like, if you just do it, I'm not going to reward you for doing it because I just expect you to do it. But if you don't do it, I'm definitely going to penalize you by being less satisfied. A reward variable is the opposite. It's like, if you do this and the more you do it, the more I'm going to reward you by being satisfied. So when you think about, number one, resolve my issue. Number two, treat me with courtesy and respect and empathy. And number three, time. Resolution and time are penalty variables. Like, the quicker you resolve my issue, it's not like I'm going to reward you for doing that. That's just what I expect. But if you don't do it, I'm really going to penalize you. It's that middle piece, that desire to feel cared about as an individual, that that customers really, really they reward, and it's the thing that really drives them, and the thing that they reward the most. So that's where a good customer support team is going to really focus. Yes, we've got to resolve the issue quickly, but we want to make our customers feel cared for.
After analyzing so many conversations, was there any habit that you found in customer support agents, especially when a case cannot actually be solved?
Yes, that's a great question, and that's absolutely true. I always say that the rule number one of customer support is you do the best you can with what you have. And if you've done that, then you've done your job. That's what you're being paid to do. And unfortunately, there are always going to be those situations that I cannot resolve this. It might be that the customer's expectations are unreasonable. It might be that there is just nothing that we can do about this. Whatever it is, all you have to go back on, if I can't resolve it, is that I'm going to treat you with courtesy and respect and empathy, and say, hey, I am very sorry that we can't resolve this for you. That's the best you can do with what you have. If there's something better, then by all means do it. But you know, it might be like, hey, we can't do this, but we want to make it up to you by sending you, you know, $25 off your next order, or, you know, we'll throw you a bone and try and do a little something to make up for it. But at the end of the day, sometimes all you have is that empathy and care.
Still inside the habits, was there anything that you noticed that made things even worse? Something that customer support agents can actually say or do?
You know, the things that really trigger customers is there's a combination of things. One of them that doesn't get talked about a lot is just not talking at all. Dead air, like not talking to the customer. You know, I call and say, hey, I got your, you know, I ordered this widget. It came in the mail, but it was completely broken in delivery, and I need it replaced. And then you just hear nothing for like 10 seconds, and then they go, order number? And it's like, no. You know, all of a sudden, this customer's like going, well, gosh, I'm getting nothing from you. Where you have an opportunity, a really good customer support person is going to go, oh, Ann, I'm so sorry that arrived broken. You know what? We're going to get another one out to you as quickly as possible. Bear with me one moment while I pull up your order, and we're going to get one out to you overnight. Oh, all of a sudden, I've apologized. I've used your name. I've been personable. I'm telling you that we're going to do this, and we're going to do it quickly. All of those things really push the customer's buttons and help satisfy that customer. So dead air is a no-no. You want to, especially on the phone, you want to take the opportunity to speak to that customer and make sure that you're saying the things that they're going to be satisfied with. The other thing that happens a lot of times, the bad habits tend to be just being robotic, being rote, not being personable, letting your emotions, the fact that you hate the job, come out in your voice. Not being courteous, not saying please, not saying thank you, just grunting at the customer. I mean, there's just so many of them that poor CSRs fall into traps that they fall into.
I started customer support a few years ago, and one thing I really had difficulty in at the beginning was I was taking everything personally. The set of skills were still not the same as they are now. Of course, there's still a lot more to improve. But sometimes it was just so difficult to actually put myself in the customer's shoe and see, yes, the customer is right. Why am I acting this way? So for somebody who is actually starting, what would be, in your opinion, the best skills, and how would they approach customers when we have such a difficult situation, when the customer is super frustrated?
Yes, and the thing that you said right up front is really the thing. It's taking it personally. So when I am coaching someone who maybe has had a really difficult call, one of the things I'll talk about is you need to understand that your job is a customer service representative. You represent a company. And when that customer picked up the phone and called customer support, in their mind, they are calling a company. And you are that company. And so as a representative, that's your job. And it's easy to feel like you're having this one-on-one, and it's a very personal, like, human interaction, because it is human interaction. But in that customer's mind, like, if I always tell, like, if I call the widget company because I need to return my widget, and my wife walks in and says, "Who are you talking to?" I'm going to say, "I'm talking to the widget company." I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm talking to Ann," because my wife's like, "Who's Ann? Why are you talking to? What is that?" No, I'm talking to the company. So as the CSR, you need to embrace that and kind of go, okay, when this customer is talking to me, in their mind they're talking to the company, and I represent the company. So I want to do my job well in that. So that's one way of sort of depersonalizing it. The other thing that I find with people is when you have that difficult call or a difficult customer, it's easy to take it, like, emotionally get overwrought with it. I had a CSR who came in one day for coaching, and I could tell immediately she was frustrated. And I okay, what's going on? How are we doing? And she said, "I just got off the phone, and this customer cussed at me, yelled at me, was so mean to me." And I'm like, okay, all right, let's stop, let's talk it through. And I noticed that she had her pad with her. Now, and I don't know if it's the same way when you were customer support, but CSRs always had this pad where they would write down the customer's name and the account number, and then, so you can remember it real quick, and then you scratch it off and you go to the next one. So she had the pad, and there were like 10 names on it, and then the one that she had just taken. I said, "So, all right, I want you to tell me about these other 10 customers that you had before this bad one." And she started talking about them. She goes, "Oh, this lady was really nice. You know what? I found out that her daughter went to the same school. All these kind of things." They're going, "Oh, and this person said that I made their day." And as she's talking about these other customers, I realize that she's talking herself out of her funk from that one customer. And what I found in my career, 100,000 phone calls, is the number of really hard, escalated, angry customers is always less than 2% of the total number of calls. And in fact, it's usually less than 1% with most of our clients. It's just that when they happen, they take on this exponentially larger emotional reaction with us. So with her, I took her pad and I put a little crease right above that last customer, and I tore the name of that last customer off, and I handed it to her, and I grabbed the waste can, and I said, you know what, we're gonna crumple that customer's name up and throw it in the waste can, and I want you to think about these other 10 customers starting now for the rest of the day. And I think that there's something mentally that we just have to do sometimes to go, okay, it was just this one customer, I have to put it in perspective.
So there are specific lines just really for complaints. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to these agents that deal daily just with complaints?
Yeah, and with a lot of jobs, that is the job. And so one of the things that I would say to executives or managers who manage these teams is you want to be careful who you hire. I mean, and I get it. It's hard. Staffing is hard, and everybody's struggling to get good staffing. But when it comes to customer complaints, I noticed that people have different personalities and different temperaments. For example, we worked with like a cable company, like cable TV, satellite TV. And so you have people that are in customer support, you have people that are in tech support and handling the technical issues, and then you have the retention team that when an upset customer wants to cancel their service, they try and win them back. And it became very clear as we analyzed all three teams that different people succeed at different pieces. And you want the right people on the right team. And we would say, as we were like going, no, this person is really good at handling customer complaints. They're a problem solver. They have natural empathy. And their motivation is not to make money as much as it is to take care of people. And so you want the right people in that job that are motivated that way and have sort of a natural giftedness to that. Whereas I want people who are driven and like to make money to be in that retention team because that's where they're going to succeed. And so, with that customer complaint team, you want the right people with the right temperament. And if you get those people, what happens is they just become very, very good at knowing how to immediately de-escalate the customer, focus on the Holy Trinity. Yep, I'm going to resolve this, I'm going to do it quickly, and I'm going to take really good care of you, and I'm going to make your day. And if you learn how to do that well, man, you're great at that job.
More into leadership, managers. If every manager or CEO spent like an entire day answering customer calls, emails, live chats, what do you think they would learn from it?
Oh my gosh. I talk about in the book, I tell a story of one of our clients who had a terrible reputation of having terrible customer service. They were a national retailer, giant company. And they had a terrible reputation, and so they hired an executive to change that culture. And he called us and brought us in. And one of the things that he did in his first week on the job was he went through CSR training, just like everybody else. And he went through the training, like he took a week and just became a CSR. And then he spent a week on the phones. It wasn't just like one day. He did it for like an entire week. And two things happened in that. One is it allowed him to experience what his customers experience as well as what his team members are experiencing. He found out immediately why customers are calling, what systems don't work, what procedures are really crappy, what is broken that needs to be fixed. But at the same time, he earned the respect of everybody in the organization. And we're like going, this guy is different. Maybe he can turn this thing around. And he got people to believe in him as a leader. So it accomplished things on multiple levels, but I guarantee you, it's those phone calls and chats and emails where you see the unvarnished pain that the customers are experiencing. And so taking the time to actually take those calls or respond to those emails gives you a front row seat and to experience yourself, and it will make you ultimately a better leader because you're going to know what needs to be fixed.
As we know, everyone is using AI for emails, for calls not yet, but still emails, even customers, we can clearly see a big difference from emails that we had like 2 years ago to the current ones. Where do you think that AI can genuinely improve customer support, and where should the human touch remain?
Yeah, I think that by and large, AI can, especially in the email realm, can certainly help. When we do email assessments with clients, we often find that there's just a general lack of just knowing how to craft a good email communication. And so AI can certainly help with that. And because it can very quickly craft an email. But the problem comes with AI doesn't always get things correct. And in fact, we use AI with some of our analysis, and we find that generally, on a general basis, 15 to 20% of the time it's wrong. It's just wrong. For different reasons. Sometimes it just misses things. Sometimes it doesn't understand the complete situation. Sometimes it mistakes what happened in the original email. So there can be all sorts of things. So I see AI being like a great foundational, okay, we're going to use AI to craft the initial response. But I tell you what, if you don't have a human being reading through that and making sure that everything is correct, then you're going to be in trouble, because if that customer gets it and goes, well, this is a stinking AI response and it's completely wrong. Now, talk about a penalty variable. You didn't resolve my issue. You didn't even have a human being respond. Boy, I am going to really penalize you. I'm not going to be satisfied. So that next contact, when they write back and go, "What's the deal?" They're going to even be more escalated, and it's going to be hard to get their loyalty and retention in the long run.
More related to who's going to start now customer support. So as we said before, there are a set of skills that agents need, and this is something, of course, that will improve over time. Is there a kind of person that should not take the path of customer support, or is it for everyone?
No, I would say I don't believe that it is for everybody. Again, I believe that there are some people that are just not wired for customer support. And I've worked with hundreds, thousands of customer service representatives, and I think most people can learn the job and do it capably. But there are certain individuals that their temperament, their personality is better suited for something else, whether that's back office work or doing something more technical and detailed, that it's just a struggle for them to communicate in a way that, from a customer perspective, is positive and friendly. Can it be taught? Yeah, it can be taught, and I can teach you a lot of skills to help you be capable at it. But at the end of the day, there are some people that I would advise, I'm not sure that this is the right fit for you. And you want to be happy too. And usually those people aren't happy in the job. They don't like it. And they realize that it's not something that they enjoy. And so at the end of the day, it's like, well, then why would you do something you don't enjoy? Let's help you find the right job that you will enjoy.
Exactly, and I don't think that if you really don't like what you're doing, I don't think you will do a good job at all.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult, especially with complaints, but overall, any kind of communication with customers. And if a business, what should a business do if they were starting right now and build a strong relationship with customers?
The most important thing, I think, is you want to get to know your customers. What I see happening right now in business is there are so many startups that we're just in this season of business where so many businesses start with the idea we're going to start a business and then we're going to sell it in a couple of years to a big PE firm for a lot more money. And when you have that kind of short-term make a quick profit, those types of companies typically don't care about their customers. They want to get as many customers as they can as quickly as they can, but they're not thinking about loyalty and retention. They just want to unload it. And so a company that really cares about their customers, that's taking the long view, no, we want to take care of our customers, keep them coming back, and build a long-standing, profitable business. You start by knowing who your customers are, which means that you get to know who they are. You survey them, you get the demographics, you keep a really good customer list. You build a great database that gives you the information that you need to communicate with the customers. Because you know what makes a customer feel cared for? Hey, you know what? This is your second year anniversary of being our customer. And you know what? We value you and we're going to give you 50% off your next order. Or, hey, it's your birthday. And, if you call in today, we'll give you, again, a coupon or something. We got a free gift for you. Those types of things make a customer feel cared for. My loyalty means something. The relationship means something to them. And I think also crafting, again, with that loyalty program, crafting things that are really cater to your customers and what they really desire and what is really driving their satisfaction. The more you learn about your customers, the better you can serve them.
So as a customer support manager, I wanted to ask, what would be an advice that you could give to me that I could share with the team and just continuing to improve and actually make great customer support?
Yeah. What I talk about in my book is that it really is a journey from being a good customer service and customer support team to being a team that has a reputation of service excellence, that you feel proud about, that you we give great service and our customers know it, and new team members coming in are like going, wow, the expectation is really high. That doesn't happen overnight. It's a culture that gets created. So as a manager, you have the opportunity to help build that culture. And in my book, I talk about a couple of the key pieces, the key steps of that journey is, number one, you need to set a high standard. And everyone needs to know it. No, this is what we're shooting for this. We're not just going to be good, we're going to be great. And then you need to understand that the difference between good and great is in the details. So as a manager, you're kind of going, all right, we're going to define what's good, but good isn't what we want. We want great. And here are the little details that we consistently want as part of our conversations. But then comes the hard step, and that's accountability. Without accountability, you're not going to get it. People will demonstrate what they're held accountable to. And so a great customer support team holds their people accountable, and that's hard and it takes a while. But eventually you can get there to where it's like going, okay, I didn't really want to change my behavior, but now I see how good this is, and I'm really proud of the service that I give, and I feel good about it. The customers are happy and everyone wins. So it's a journey, and as a manager, here's the expectation, here's the details, the things we're going to do differently, and here's how you're going to be held accountable to it.
Thank you so much. to do something different, something new that I've never done on the other episodes, which would be a quick fire round. Okay, so basically just a few short questions, and just please answer with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so one communication skill everyone should improve.
Apologies. Apologizing.
One phrase every support professional should stop using.
Should stop using. Unfortunately. People use unfortunately like it's an apology, but the root word of unfortunately is fortune, which means you're really just saying it's your bad luck that this hasn't gone right, and it doesn't communicate that you actually care. So I tell people, eradicate unfortunately from your vocabulary.
One phrase that we should use more.
It's what I call, in my book, it's what I call the empathy resolution statement. Customers want resolution, but they want you to care. So I teach people, put those two together, and as soon as you hear my package didn't arrive, let's say, empathy resolution. Hey, I'm sorry it didn't arrive. What I can do is this. What I will do is this. And then you focus on that resolution. So you get the empathy, the care up front. Then you focus on what the customer really cares about, which is resolution. You're taking ownership for that, and it immediately tells the customer, I've got somebody who cares, and I've got somebody who's taking ownership and responsible and is going to take good care of me. And if you start your call out that way, man, you're going to be miles ahead of most customer service reps.
The most underrated customer support skill.
Most underrated, I think it really is the ownership, taking ownership, what I can do, what I will do. Customers, again, they often just hear dead air, just silence. And it's so easy to go, you know what, I'm going to take good care of you today. You know what, let's get that taken care of, or let's get another one out to you, or, you know, let's get this solved for you. I'm going to make sure, we get that, get your question answered. And just taking that ownership gives customers such confidence, and it's underrated.
One word that describes great leadership.
Accountability. I am a true believer in accountability, and that goes for leadership. So many leaders that I've met, they want to lead from a corner office, never be present, and never be accountable for their part of the success. And instead, they tend to trickle down all the blame and excuse rather than saying, hey, I am accountable to make sure you have what you need so that you can take good care of the customer. So great leaders are accountable.
Tom, thank you so much.
Let your listeners know where they can connect with me. It would be great. So the book is called This Call May Be Monitored: What Eavesdropping on Corporate America Taught Me About Business and Life. You can find it on Amazon. Just look for my name, Tom Vander Well. You can also connect at my website, Tom Vander Well, my name spelled out, TomVanderwell.com. And not only do I love writing, but I also love speaking. So if there are any listeners out there like looking for somebody to talk about these kinds of things at a customer service conference or whatever, please give me a call. I would love to get in front of your audience. And Ann, I just really appreciate the opportunity to converse.
Thank you.